Welcome to the session on Oracle E-Business Suite, What's New in 12.2 Beyond Online Patching. I'm Jeannie Lowell, Vice President of Product Strategy in the Applications Development Division at Oracle. In today's agenda, we're going to be starting with the EBS strategy and how 12.2 fits with that. Then we'll have a section on modern user experience initiatives in 12.2. Then we'll spend most of the time covering key enhancements by product family, stepping through each of the product families. And then we'll wrap up of where to find more information and key takeaways. So let's get started on the first section. EBS's strategy is to invest for EBS customers, building upon the strength of EBS as an integrated global suite. We categorize our investments into three areas. The first is modern user experience, which are supported by our enterprise command center work, the modern transactional UX, leveraging HTML and mobile, and our support for UX extensions and customizations. The second category is functional innovation, where we deliver new and enhanced functional business capability, driven by our customer-voted enhancements, driven by new and enhanced business processes required by today's business, and any enhanced or new regulatory requirements. And the third category is leveraging technology, where we're leveraging EBS on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, the latest platform technology, and Oracle Generative AI with EBS. This session will be covering the first two categories with modern user experience and functional innovation. This roadmap shows the roadmap of 12.2, first getting delivered in 2013, through 2024 with the latest release in 12.2.14. This session is expected to give you highlights of user experience and functional innovation across the e-business suite across these releases. So we have 10 plus years in investment to cover across EBS. A lot to cover. Our intention with this session is to be able to give you a broad survey to identify potential topics of interest and direct you to where you can find more information. This is not expected to be comprehensive, but really to give you highlights for you to really understand where there's big areas of value that can help justify updates and bring value to your customer, to your business. So given we got a lot to cover, let's keep going. This is showing the support timeline, just to ensure that you know that EBS 12.2 Premier support is supported for a long time through at least 2035, supported by the rolling 10 plus years of Premier support. For any customers still leveraging 12.1, this session is intended to give you visibility into what's new in 12.2 to help you understand the value that you can get as you move beyond 12.1, which is now in sustaining support since 2021. The 12.2 overview. The signature feature of 12.2 was online patching when it first came out in 2013, where it allowed users to remain on the system while patches are being applied, thus reducing the downtime from minutes down to minutes versus hours. Since that point, across the releases that I've shown in that roadmap, we've delivered investments around user experience and functional innovation across the suite and the product families of the wheel that's shown here on the left. Our intention is then to step through each of these product families and give you those highlights. An initial view of this is then just this, eye chart of many different key enhancements by each product family. We'll be covering many of these. This is just a view of how much scope that we actually have delivered in 12.2 for you to really understand what's coming and what's available to you. Let's talk a little bit about the customer voted enhancements so you understand the process, understand how we're delivering, and then continue to give us feedback. We look at many different inputs from our customers. The first, we look at ideas, where customers can vote in MyOracle Support on ideas that they or others record, and that they can vote on it. The second is looking at enhancements that are derived from service requests. And the third is interacting with customers. We look across all three of these, look at the highly requested features across many customers, and then plan those into product roadmaps. The voting process in ideas has been very effective to bring focus to high score ideas. We're in ideation since we started this in 2016. We've had 8,000 plus ideas, 25,000 users, so in high participation in that process. The voting has brought focus. If we look at the ideas that have more than 20 organizations voting, it narrows it down to 1%. If we expand that to look at ideas with 10 to 19 votes, it expands to 3%. We look at those highly scored ideas to then feed into our roadmap. We have to date been delivered 39% of the high score ideas and over 890 ideas. Really showing that we're delivering to what customers are asking for and continue to do that. The way that you can vote is in My Oracle Support. You get to see the ideas in one of the 60 plus communities organized by product family spanning across EBS. You can subscribe to you can review the ideas. You can subscribe to notifications for new ideas of a community that you're interested in. And to make it easy to be able to find ideas, we've added new communities in 2024, so you can easily find ideas for the various product areas. So we've really made the ideas easy for you to vote up and down, and from which then we can identify highly scored ideas across organizations. To give you an idea of the kind of ideas and the continued pattern of delivery of high score ideas, this is a list of ideas, a couple from each release that's been delivered from, starting at the bottom of 12.2.6 all the way to 12.2.14, kind of 2 ideas from each of the releases, showing you the span of some of them are process changes, some of them are specific changes on pages, but really a range of things from which we're then looking at and delivering to our customers. So we've given the overview of our EBS strategy and 12.2. Now let's start the section on modern user experience. When we look at modern user experience, we break it into 3 subcategories. The first being enterprise command centers. And enterprise command centers is a new initiative that we released starting in 2018 that delivers prepackaged dashboards for you to be able to identify and act on priority transactions without custom operational reporting, leveraging some modern technology that really lets you have information-driven navigation where you can easily browse and drill on actionable indicators, do consumer-like search, identify review the data that comes back from those browsing or searching, from you then to have further drill down and have a conversation with your data to narrow down and ultimately take action on the selected transactions. We've been delivering across the suite, expanding now to 36 command centers on 145 plus dashboards across the suite, giving you then visibility leveraging this enterprise command center framework technology. Beyond just giving you dashboards and visibility, there's some unique things that I want to highlight here. ECC also gives the ability to look at, visualize and navigate relationship and common nodes, leveraging the ECC diagram. So you can easily look at a network of data. This is an example of looking at the discrete manufacturing genealogy and trace diagram, where you can look at product genealogy and where did the material come from, and understand the complexity of the relationships and letting you navigate through that so you can find the transaction of interest. The other area I want to note for ECC is that you can take action. It's not just reporting dashboards, it's the ability to take action for simple things like reassigning the status of a transaction. And so then it really makes it very interactive for people to easily find and then take action on the transactions. Their enterprise command centers are delivered with 12.2. It was delivered starting in 2018, but it's supported back to 12.2.14. It's part of your license you have for EBS, so there's no additional cost. Easily integrates with the UI, honors the security, supports multilingual support, and is very extensible. So we find that many customers are leveraging this to really open up the data and simplify the processing for their users. There's many sessions that have covered ECC, so I didn't expect to cover much more around ECC given we have so much other scope to be able to cover today. So the second area of modern user experience is around modern transactional UX. And I want to highlight the updated look and feel and modern interactions with our UX framework. Then I want to highlight that we're delivering more HTML UX in the various product areas. And then I want to highlight the mobile apps that we've delivered, both for line of business users and self-service users. And all of this is kind of driven from an HTML perspective. Why is HTML beneficial, particularly when we compare it to Oracle Forms leveraged in EBS? HTML gives you a modern look and feel, lets it be responsive through a browser, depending on the device that you're working on, and makes it easy to personalize and configure. So there's really a lot of power in leveraging HTML. So with that, we've done some updates to our Oracle Application Framework, which is our HTML UI framework that we build UIs in EBS. We've updated the look and feel, and we've modernized the interactions. When we talk about updating look and feel, the color that you see from on 12.2 and the kind of the skinning is different. Where in 12.2.5, we actually had kind of the blue Alta look. In 12.2.7, we delivered ability for you to define your own themes. In 12.2.11, we've leveraged now the latest Oracle theming, which is called Redwood. So these are just examples about how you can change the look and feel of what EBS looks like. We've also made it easier so you can decide how your users do page navigation. If you're using a tablet, you might want to use icons. If they're using a laptop, you might want to continue with tabs. And so this is just responsive depending on the navigation that you choose. We've simplified the global header, making it easier to find the navigator from any page, make it easier to find the favorites or the work list or the settings from any page, such that you can then access common functions from the top of any OA framework page. When we talk about responsive with the device, OA framework knows what kind of device it's running on and will then change the spacing for easier touch interactions. Or if you're on a laptop or desktop, it keeps it tight knowing you're using a mouse. If you move to a tablet, it expands out that spacing because you're touching with your finger and need more space to be able to touch. OA Framework has also enhanced how they handle tables to improve the productivity with them. Many different things done. The first I want to highlight is the column display and freeze. Like you kind of see in a workbook or worksheet, you can then freeze a column and then scroll to the right to be able to see more. You can also then choose which columns you display. You can size them, you can reorder them, you can hide and show them, and then you can also pop out a table to be able to see that in a separate window. There's more that we've done to make it easy to be able to see more data in terms of vertical scrolling, the separate window, downloading to Excel or exporting, and simple visuals. So this applies to any table in OA Framework. I do want to highlight also in the upper right-hand corner is the teal box that notes the releases. So the enhancements that I'm highlighting have been delivered in between the two releases that are highlighting. So this is intended to help you know if the release you are on or the release that you are targeting has this capability so that you can plan your roadmap deployment appropriately. Continue with OA Framework enhancements. OA Framework has enhanced pop-ups for improved productivity so that pop-ups for things like descriptive flex field attachments, dialog windows are all in context of the page, so there's less navigation as users interact with them. OA Framework with the tables has also improved the search capability. So it's simplified the search for the simple advanced search is now all in just one search region on the left-hand panel. Can also have just one quick search with one column and include DFF in that search. You can also make the saved searches be info tiles so that the count of the searches for each of the saved searches is shown at the top and easily click on that to see those rows. This is then deployed in many pages across EBS. WebAI has also been enhanced to be able to, one, leverage, have better performance and security leveraging Office Open XML support. There's other user productivity things, including an Oracle menu to be able to, in a ribbon display in Excel, corporate branding support, the ability to have configurable upload validation, dependent LOV, and a number of other things in WebADI for your users who use that to interact with, get data into EBS. For those developers who are personalizing OA framework, we've made it easier to personalize with the admin personalization workbench so that you have a what you see is what you get. So the different layers of personalization that OA framework supports, you see those different layers. You can actually easily drag and drop and make changes on the pages and then view the resulting pages, making it easier for you to do those page personalizations visually. When we talk about more HTML, so I've just highlighted what are the highlights in OA framework to improve the look and feel and deliver more modern interactions with that HTML. Now, with more HTML UIs, this is then highlighting that then we're delivering more product pages to have an HTML UI as an alternative to a Forms UI, giving you then the option to move your users from Forms to HTML and getting the benefits that I talked about when I highlighted HTML UIs. This is something that you need to be able to then deploy these HTML UIs on the menus, let your users know about them, take the forms off from the UI. So it is a little project to be able to deploy these, but we encourage you to be looking at these and deploying these to your users. The third area of UX I want to talk about is mobile apps. We've delivered mobile apps to make it easy to take action on the go using a mobile device. We've focused on horizontal functions that are geared towards self-service users, spanning approvals, time cards, self-service HR, and expenses. We also have mobile apps for line of business users, for those users who need the application to do their job, whether it be mobile supply chain apps where they're actually moving material and managing material in an inventory and warehouse or a shop floor, mobile field service or mobile maintenance, where then there's field service technicians or maintenance technicians who are out servicing customer assets or internal assets. These are then available through mobile apps. We have made them available with iOS and Android. It's leveraging Oracle Jet as a technology with a few other technologies, and these are part of the base product that you then have access to the mobile capabilities. The exception to that is MSCA and Mobile Field Service continue to be separate licensed products as they always have been. There has been a technology update on our mobile apps where we've moved beyond our applications that were first delivered with Mobile Application Framework, given Mobile Application Framework, or referred to as MAF, has moved into sustaining support. We now have new versions of all of the mobile apps I've listed prior that are available without using MAF. Mobile approvals, time cards, and self-service HR have new versions built with Oracle Jet that are run in a browser. The other line of business apps have new versions without MAF that are available in the App Store, and they're deployed on iOS and Android, leveraging some of the native capabilities within those operating systems. So all of our mobile apps that were built with MAF, those versions have moved into sustaining support after June 2024. So if you're still using those versions, you should be transitioning to new versions that leverage technology beyond MAF. To give you a view of what these look like, this is mobile approvals updated with the new mobile technology that you can then run in a browser. It's leveraging the latest look and feel with the Redwood theme and can be running against your EBS environment to be able to, in this case for mobile approvals, see the work list that your users are assigned to and let them take action, whether approve, reject, request more information, etc. The third area of modern user experience that I want to cover now is support for US extensions and customizations, and drilling down into the work we've done around Apex and Oracle Guided Learning. So Oracle Apex integration leveraged for EBS customizations. On the left, we've noted we've had documentation for many years in how you can extend to EBS 12.2 with Apex, with a white paper that describes how to do it, and also how you can leverage it with ECC and building Apex pages and ECC pop-up. In 12.2.14, we've enhanced the capabilities within EBS, so now you can embed Apex pages in EBS, where you register an Apex page as a function. You can define that function to then be call out to an external page or have it be an embedded page within the OA framework frame. It then supports seamless navigation between EBS and Apex, supporting then authentication. We've also made it easier to integrate the Apex workspace with EBS. So this is delivered in 12.2.14, making it easier to leverage Apex to be able to develop and deploy your EBS customizations and extensions. The other area of tool support that we've invested in is Oracle Guided Learning, where now you can enable displaying Oracle Guided Learning, end user assistance in context or in application of eBusiness Suite, where you can seamlessly display this content within EBS in the EBS OA framework pages. We're not delivering content, but we're enabling if there is content there that is then linked to this context, it is actually displayed in EBS, making it easier for you then to enable this end user assistance leveraging the latest in-application guidance tool of Oracle Guided Learning. So that wraps up the broad view of what we've done around UX. Now let's spend most of the time into our key enhancements by product family. I'm going to start with financials. And what I'm going to do, the approach we're going to take is we're going to start with a summary page listing a set of key highlights. There will be a slide for most every one of the key points. I'll spend most of the time quickly on each of the points, drilling down into this. And then I'll step through the next product family and make my way through across the wheel. So the first area that I'm going to talk about in financials is lease accounting, where we've supported the various new lease accounting standards that had started in 2019 with IFRS 16, ASC 842, and a couple of the two other standards for state and local and federal agencies. That is now all supported as part of enhancements into our property management capability, and that capability is available to all of our financials customers. So you can now support any lease accounting requirements that you have leveraging your Oracle Financials license. In 12.2, we've also improved the GL and AP approvals so that in GL it's integrated with the application or approvals management AME capabilities where you can have a flexible approval rules by which you look at management hierarchy, limits. You can define that so you can automatically route and manage the GL journal approval process. Similarly, for AP invoice approval, we've enhanced it to be able to support parallel approvals and transfer ownership of those approvals of invoices that get routed through workflow. In AR, we've introduced new cash application methods to further improve your cash application process. The two methods we have are match score and knapsack method, delivered in 12.2.5. Credit management has been enhanced by giving you more visibility to some of the financial data in the credit scoring. So you can have some of these customer defined data points and then use that in your checklist and scoring model. The other thing I want to highlight is in the upper right-hand corner, there's a light bulb. If there's a light bulb, it notes it was an idea that came from our customer requests. And so it's showing that we're highlighting a feature that came from the customer voted request process that we talked about earlier. An advanced collection has been enhanced in 12.2.6 to make it easier to collect on related accounts. We're grouping parties into parent-child relationships. There's that, you're looking at that group of related accounts, and you can also manage the execution of work items based on rules, so you can define logic of what should you collect on and what's the next step. So if you've already collected a certain percent of the invoice, what's the next step that the collector needs to work through? Report Manager, which is then delivering FSGs, has been enhanced to one support the Office Open XML support, giving then improved performance and security. There's a new UI, and there's more flexible generation and delivery of the reports, whether it be to a drive or email, more advanced scheduling, more parallel submission, and a number of other things you can do related to Report Manager. We continue to deliver EBS legislative updates, particularly with areas around electronic invoicing and fiscal audit recently. You can always find out the latest updates around legislative updates, leveraging the EBS Legislative Update Center with the doc ID as listed here. You can also self-register for hot topic email alerts for specific areas that you care about. So we just quickly went through financials. Now let's continue through order management, following the same process that we talked about. So a list of the highlights. I won't be covering the ECC areas. I'll start with the second area, which is HTML. So order management's a case where we've delivered an HTML UI for the order organizer and scheduler forms UI. So you now can deploy that UI as HTML as shown here. First delivered in 12.2.14 and enhanced then through 12.2.9 as shown in the upper right-hand corner of the box. Order management has also been very focused on processing of ordering and billing for a combination of products, subscriptions, and services. So you can support the various new business models in terms of what you're offering to your customers. In early versions of 12.2 with 12.2.2 to 12.2.5, there was a focus on subscription ordering so that on an order you can actually order a combination of product, services, and subscriptions, capture the appropriate attributes on the order, define how you want to do ordering, and then interface that information over to service contracts to manage the subscriptions, but also to manage the billing across order management and service contracts. We went further with that and got into recurring billing in 12.2.6 that lets you define a predefined or indefinite number of bills from a given order line, so that it's supporting simple things like simple subscription or simple rentals that you send out a product, you bill for it on a recurring basis until that product is returned. We expanded upon that with milestone billing, where you can then bill based on milestones that are completed based on events that happen in order management, like shipment and customer acceptance or custom defined milestones. Initially delivered in 12.2.7, then further enhanced in 12.2.11. The milestone billing was then expanded even more so into usage-based billing, where you can bill based on actual usage of a product, where then you capture that actual usage. You use pricing tiers to be able to then bill that usage to be able to then handle the kind of more flexible ways of usage-based billing. So a combination of many types of ordering and billing that order management has enhanced across 12.2. Another key area of order management, along with inventory and cost management, is the support of returning or canceling internal sales orders and internal org transfers. We started work on this in 12.2.11, letting you return internal sales orders and handling the appropriate then shipment and accounting related to that. We expanded that further with returning internal sales orders that were in transit, and then to be able to handle the appropriate ownership and accounting related to that. We expanded it further to be able to return internal sales orders to a different organization in 12.2.14, again handling the physical movement of the products in addition to the accounting needed for that. We handled the return process. We also handled the returning internal sales orders, canceling internal sales orders, and canceling internal org transfers. So a broad theme from which to really support the advanced cases of handling these kind of processes. Starting in 12.2.8, order management had enhancements around sales order agreements, allowing you to be able to define agreement lines where you could have the same item with different ship-to locations, allowing you to then have fewer sales agreements to be able to handle across different ship-to locations. And a number of other customer requested enhancements like defaulting the customer PO number. We also delivered public APIs to let you manage these sales order agreements. We've delivered the concept of having customer service rep assignment to orders. This lets you then say which customer service rep is assigned to an order. That then allows you to filter those orders in the order management command center dashboards. You define rules leveraging customers, customer and item category, or custom attributes for you to be able to identify who's the CSR related to an order. Order management has many other efficiencies and performance improvements, whether it's starting from things like order attributes, pricing, and tax calculations, of things like letting you define user-defined attributes or UDAs for a sales order, defining which of the attributes would trigger repricing, and other examples of like integrating the order approvals workflow with the approvals management engine, the AME engine, and a number of other things listed here, including things related to order interfaces, item orderability and substitution, and more. Order management has also delivered the capability to let you archive sales orders, starting in 12.2.12, where you can archive them, and then you can also retrieve them back into the core transactional tables, or you can decide to purge the data. Quoting has been enhanced so that you can have streamline the validations and the approvals of quotes. So you can have document approvals using, one, you're validating the quote is correct. Two, then you can have document approvals leveraging an electronic signature system. So you can send the document to the customer. The customer signs the document using the electronic signature provider, and then you record that signature into the system. A number of other enhancements around productivity to let you create quotes using spreadsheet upload and other ways from which you can drive productivity of creating, validating, and getting quotes approved. Customer Hub has also been improved to support integration so that you can support and merging. So you can support better account merging through an API. You can deal with real-time address validation for customers. You can look up spatial display of those address validation, leveraging improved the Oracle Spatial to really ensure that you have the right customers and the right accounts. Channel revenue management, where we're actually managing then volume-based pricing programs, has been enhanced starting in 12.2.4, where we have flexible volume pricing. So you can manage the accrue and pricing based on a customer's cumulative purchases over time, from which you then can manage the appropriate offers and programs that you have related to those that channel revenue management. Recently, we've enhanced the pricing and buying group definition to let you exclude certain types of buying groups and exclude certain qualifiers to give you more power in terms of how you're pricing a set of things. We've also enhanced channel revenue management to have more financial control. First is defining channel revenue management as a subledger so you can close that subledger separate from other subledgers, in addition to a number of other things listed here as requested by customers. Now we're going to move over to logistics with the broad set of key enhancements. Starting with the UX, logistics is an area where we've delivered more HTML UIs, kind of spanning from their inbound and receiving to outbound and shipping, and managing the on-hand inventory around the material workbench, the warehouse task management, and reservations. MSCA, the mobile supply chain apps, has also been improved. One, leveraging latest technology, mobile technology as described earlier around our mobile initiatives, in addition to functional improvements in MSCA for things like configurable auto reconnect for dropped Wi-Fi sessions, in-app personalization, and a number of other things around the UX. MSCA is also doing some functional things like advanced barcode scanning delivered in 12.2.9, where with a single scan, you can capture a broad set of information to be in compliance with various FDA and European specifications. Logistics has also enhanced the cycle counting. So you can actually manage the cycle counting process with the dashboard and then be able to manage then any type of adjustments through approvals with workflow. Inventory has also improved the physical inventory enhancements to giving you a dashboard to understand the physical inventory of what are the physical inventory tags that need to be managed and then be able to manage those in MSCA. In inventory, we've also enhanced our Kanban solution. So now that electronic Kanban is available to all inventory customers, where Kanban is a method of using just-in-time replenishment based on cards. So we've, initially we had Kanban. This slide is showing a progression of Kanban within EBS, where we had Kanban leveraging inventory, a simple version in 11i. There's more of it that we got into Kanban planning, leveraging if you had flow manufacturing. We expand that into more electronic Kanban and managing those cards electronically. That was available through the discrete manufacturing execution system, or MES license. We've now made this capability available as part of inventory as just another replenishment method, and also enhanced it by leveraging Kanban dashboard, leveraging ECC and HTML UIs visibility there. So it gives you another method of replenishment for specific types of items. Inventory has also given you flexibility in serial tagging, where you can decide where you want to capture the serial information at different points of use, whether it be work order issues, sales order picking, etc. You don't have to start the serial control at the point of receipt. Warehouse management has been enhanced to support picking by various documents. So you can pick, earlier we could pick based on sales order pick slips. Now it can be done based on trips, deliveries, LPNs, WIP jobs, zones, and more as listed here, making it really efficient for those who are going and picking. Warehouse management is also expanded to give you the ability to set up an action to verify a pick for specific types of items. So somebody goes and picks, somebody can verify it at different points in the cycle. Inventory has also improved the transportation management integration, such that then what's getting interfaced from EBS to OTM does not require deliveries to be created prior to the transportation planning, thus leveraging the power of OTM to bring to figure out the multiple shipments, bring those into OTM, from OTM into EBS. Inventory and order management has also streamlined the back order processing, so you can have options from which you automatically cancel back orders for customers that don't accept back orders, and to automatically create move orders to manage the materials that might entail. There's many things been done in warehouse management to manage the throughput efficiencies, including things like defining zones and then doing picking, labeling, and cycle counting based on zone, in addition to a number of other things listed here. Warehouse management and WMS has also enabled activity tracking, so including user-defined attributes. So you can track activities, whether they be the things related to EBS or things not related to EBS, things like that we're not tracking in EBS or unloading, or that aren't specific events, or unloading a trail, checking labels, etc. You can record those activities. That's now captured in MSCA, and then we actually view and analyze the information in a new activity dashboard. Warehouse management has also been expanded into yard management. So we extended supply chain visibility into the yard, where you actually then manage what are the actual equipment coming into the yard, managing the appointments, the check-in, the check-out of the docks, and understanding what's logically there. So that's a broad view of logistics. Now let's step into procurement. First focus of procurement is iProcurement, with a strong focus on delivering consumer-like shopping in procurement, so that you can actually give efficient shopping, yet while minimizing the non-catalog spend. Ways in which we've done that is, one, personalizing the user experience, leveraging ECC, so that users really search like they are used to in consumer shopping and not really having to relate to what store are they choosing. It's really, where do you want to, what are you searching for, and letting you personalize that user experience. Then looking on the upper right, we're then further, if they have a non-catalog request, we're auto-suggesting an item for something that they might be thinking is a non-catalog request to get them to use the catalog as much as possible. In the lower left, we're actually getting employee feedback so that users can give feedback to the procurement professionals, so they can actually understand feedback on the items in that catalog and then further improve the catalog. And then finally, in the lower right, we're improving the visibility of what your employees are shopping for and what they're searching for, using an employee shopping search tracker to be able to understand what that searches are and how do you improve that. A broader set of things to improve the consumer-like shopping in iProcurement. Another enhancement in iProcurement is Spot Buy, where you enable a privileged requester the ability to create a requisition and automatically create a purchase order for that, to be able to then reduce buyer workload, streamline the process, and then really empower those privileged users. It lets you then capture that spend that might otherwise be expensed outside of procurement visibility. The process also in the bottom supports handling new suppliers that might come in through this process in various ways, letting the requester create, invite, or register the supplier. You can interface with your trading parties using Oracle Business Network. Oracle Business Network, formerly known as Oracle Supplier Network, is available to all of our EBS customers, in addition to other our customers of EBS, Cloud Apps, NetSuite, and other apps products in Oracle, such that you can then have an electronic business document routing and delivering with your trading parties. Procurement has also enhanced the contract relationship, so you can define the purchasing documents, you can define the contract repository and relationships to those so that you can better understand and have visibility into what are really your procurement structures that you have. Purchasing has also done a number of customer-driven enhancements for things like automatically grouping multiple requests into POs so that you can have fewer orders to manage and reduce the cost and get better volume-based discounting. A number of other things like validating the agreement align amount for POs at a more granular level and supporting user-defined attributes for purchase orders. Services procurement has been enhanced to support the ability to have services and goods with complex payments, and also been recently enhanced in 12.2.14. Complex purchase orders lets you actually have a purchase order that you're procuring based on complex payments, including a payment schedule with progress payments, work confirmations to trigger the payments, and advances in retention and recoupment. You now have the option to be able to include goods, and in 12.2.14, that's been enhanced. You can include the goods and be able to receive and cost them, but not invoice them, so that you're managing the payment and the invoicing using the payment schedule, but then leveraging the detail, quantity, price, amount combination to be able to receive and cost the goods, with the example I've shown below. Procurement has also been enhanced to be able to support shared service support for project-centric purchases. We've always had shared service support in starting in earlier 12 releases, so that you could actually have a shared service center supporting procurement for many different operating units. That's now extended to be able to support different purchase orders with project information and complex purchase orders. Project procurement, which is supporting the collaboration between project managers and buyers to understand the project demand and feed that and manage that through the procurement cycle, continues to be enhanced in later releases of 12.2 to be able to support the kind of information exchange between the project manager and the buyers. A key enhancement in iSupplier Portal is supporting the ability for a supplier representative to be able to have one user manage many different suppliers, whether it be a representative or a broker, very similar to what we might have done for one user supporting multiple operating units in the shared service model. This is now letting one supplier user to be able to manage multiple suppliers in that kind of similar kind of shared service model. Supplier lifecycle management continues to be enhanced across the 12.2 releases to streamline the supplier registration process, and then it's a subsequent assessment process of those suppliers. The first thing with the registration process is to handle the more intelligent profile management to look at address validation in supplier registration, and to be able to raise warnings of suspicious domains for suppliers who might be recording certain set of information. And then we've also streamlined the assessment process for a supplier, defining recurring assessments on given events, define who needs to be invited to be able to assess the supplier, manage the routing of those assessments, and then manage the approvals of those assessments and the reports that are then shared. Sourcing has been enhanced in 12.2 in many different ways. The first is letting you define initiatives in sourcing to be able to align stakeholder priorities, where you define objectives and tasks, and to be able to assign ownership there. From a sourcing event, you can then let suppliers have flexibility by which they can put alternate lines or multiple orders, and then streamline the negotiation with online negotiation with redlining, and having online discussions from which you can then manage that negotiation, and then be able to then create appropriate documents from the awarded negotiations. Project and procurement has been very focused on an area around G-invoicing for U.S. federal program agencies. It's focused on 100+ U.S. federal program agencies and 4 shared service centers leveraging a solution around EBS procurement and projects, a significant investment area in these different product areas. Highlighting this, even if it doesn't apply to you outside of the U.S. federal, but just really noting they're very complex organizations leveraging EBS and will continue for a very long time. Now we're going to shift over projects. The first area of projects is enhanced labor costing with actual costs. So to be able to get more accurate labor costs by either costing it using HR rates, rates by criteria, or the prevailing wage support that's required, or to be able to pull in the payroll costs into projects and then manage the provisionary and then the actual payroll rates coming in. Project budgetary control has been enhanced to support both labor and non-labor transactions, extended beyond the procure-to-pay transactions that it has been supported for many, many releases. Project costing has been enhanced in how you support accounting so that the way you can do adjustments, you can reverse accounted transactions that might have come from another system like payables, and you can do that now in projects to be able to reduce the time and the effort to be able to do those adjustments. Project billing has been greatly enhanced to support more automation for many different advanced billing scenarios, including invoicing across projects. So you can, invoice across projects by leveraging contract-based billing or invoice consolidation. You can define what you're going to include in invoicing and revenue accrual using a new concept called bill groups. You can manage revenue holds, manage the provisional rates, and do a lot more around also agreements and where you get the funding from and managing how you're recording agreements with UDAs and then routing those for approvals. An additional advanced scenarios around U.S. federal contracting. So now there's specific capability within project billing to be able to support those requirements for U.S. federal, including billing methods like cost plus fixed fee, fixed price progress payments, and level of effort. Projects has also introduced some concepts to support the kind of construction-based billing that's required using a schedule of values. And Project has also introduced the concept of a cost breakdown structure to now allow a standard cost coding structure across projects to be able to report, particularly used in construction. So wrapping up the project's highlights and moving on to manufacturing. We'll step through discrete and then process, quality, and then product hub. So for discrete manufacturing, to manage materials is supporting reservations for components on jobs so that ensure that you have the material you need for priority jobs to get those done. Discrete manufacturing now also supports dual unit of measure for certain items where you might purchase them in one unit and then manufacture them in another unit, allowing you to transact in either of those units and track on-hand inventory in both of those units and support the various transactions related to that. Discrete MES has given the ability for you to look at component availability from a day zero perspective, so you can understand what components are available or where there's shortages and make adjustments as appropriate. Discrete MES has also enhancements to make it easier to support the serialized manufacturing items so that you can actually do things like express complete job orders when you have to deal with serialized items and many other things as listed here. The discrete MES supervisor UI has also been enhanced to be able to be optimized toward a tablet to make it easier for an MES supervisor who's walking around to be able to easily monitor and take action as needed. Work in process and MES has also enhanced the time management of the operators. First is allowing operators to record time in their time card in Oracle Time and Labor that's interfaced then to work in process. Operators can also clock in and clock out at many different levels, including the shift, the job, the operation, resource, and serial number, and available kind of through all the operator UIs. Managers and supervisors can also then easily review and approve that reported time and be able to look at the history of the clock in and clock out, getting better visibility of the time management of your manufacturing staff. Outsourced manufacturing has been enabled for both discrete and process, allowing you to get visibility into your outsourcing business with your manufacturing partners. Having visibility to both the subcontractor order process, not just both, but across subcontractor order process, inventory balances, the quality of the products, and the financial positions that you have, now available as just part of discrete and process. Now shift into process manufacturing, supporting outside processing support for a step within the process. Process manufacturing has also improved quality across many 12.2 releases, particularly for process industries like that have strong quality requirements around life sciences, metals, chemicals, and food and beverage. Doing things like automated time-based sampling, so automatically take samples at specific times, record the quality inspection results in touchscreens, and managing distributed sampling. We've expanded some of that quality into much more of the laboratory management features. Sampling is kind of the first phase that we're talking about, including time-based and distributed sampling. We also expanded into the AQL, or the Accepted Quality Limit Sampling Plan, from which then we're capturing the appropriate lot-based sampling. We support the testing process to be able to then have test results, device integration, so you can capture those results based on reading devices that are integrated to your warehouse, ensuring that you have appropriate commits to do the kits to do the testing. Your testers are certified to do the testing, and your equipment is calibrated to do the testing. And then you look at finally in the third category, you look at the results and analysis of that to ensure that you can have a certificate of analysis and acceptable quality limits. Process manufacturing has also enhanced yield management, so you can understand the yield as you go through the various steps in a process to understand both the operation and cumulative yield, and make and flag exceptions to standard yield, and then take action based on those. Process manufacturing has also enabled serialization support, so you have better control and traceability in production operations, particularly for industries that require such detailed traceability, particularly in life sciences, chemicals, and consumer goods, where you're tracking the serial number of the consumed ingredients and products, and also in the outcome products. We're also in process manufacturing tracking enhanced genealogy of multi-lot batches that are running for a long time. And now we can actually track then what's the batch and the ingredient and what product came out of each of those. As you put in an ingredient in a batch, a set of products came out, the same batch was there, you put in another set of ingredients, another set of products came out, you're then tracking the genealogy of that, similar as you go through kind of different phases or different timing of those long-running batches, giving you then visibility into that's critical for regulated industries. Process manufacturing has also enabled a further regulation on clearance instructions. So you can control the production activities to ensure that clearance instructions have been completed of cleaning equipment, calibrating the equipment, recording the results to ensure that it's meeting regulatory compliance. Process manufacturing from a UX perspective has now delivered a production scheduler workbench in HTML. So it's an alternative to forms so that you can then review the schedule of the batches and the operations and make changes as appropriate. Now we're looking at quality, where quality has been improved across a number of different areas to let you first easily collect the data. So we logically related parent and child quality plans and included and enhanced how we collect quality plans. We collect quality when and where you need it, enhancing UIs in iSupplier Portal, EAM, Receiving, WIP, and MES, and supporting skip lot and sampling in the receiving process. And then enabling audit and compliant with electronic records and signatures for appropriate quality plans as required. So really letting you collect quality data that you need where you need it. For Product Hub, we've enhanced the UI where we've delivered the product workbench in HTML so you can manage the product structure. This is an alternative to a technology that leverages MS Windows. Product Hub has also been enhanced to be able to support the maintenance of product definitions, of letting you do things like have items with multi-row attributes and update that through Web API. We've also expanded this into inventory so that now item master APIs are now available to any user using inventory without requiring a Product Hub license, and a number of other maintenance items as noted on the slide. Now we're going to shift to EAM. EAM, a key investment area, has been about the mobile maintenance application. So you have a mobile maintenance app both for maintenance supervisors and maintenance technicians to be able to let them then be able to perform their work, to be able to easily see what work needs to be done, see the work orders, complete the work, create an express work order, review the assets, and more. Mobile Maintenance has updated the new mobile technology as we described earlier. They've also delivered a personalization framework to let you personalize the mobile app to be able to hide and show and add validation as required for your business. Maintenance has also been focused on supporting linear assets starting in early releases of 12.2, letting you define linear assets, which might include pipelines, transmission and distribution lines, roadways and railways. What's unique about linear assets is having linear references of where they are on a map and relationships between those from which then you can manage work against those. So we have additional attribution to be able to record the linear asset and the work related to it, and also a view of those assets on a map. Given that we have the map visualization, we extended that then to both linear assets in addition to discrete assets. So now you can easily locate and manage work of assets on a map, and to be able to identify those assets and then create and manage work requests and work orders. Now we're going to look at the mapping of an indoor map for assets in a building, where you can easily now manage assets on an indoor map by leveraging some of the integration with ESRI ArcGIS Indoors Map. In managing work assignment, we've enhanced the maintenance technician assignment to the work orders in many different areas. In the mobile maintenance app, managers can assign work. Technicians can also self-assign work that's assigned to them. A maintenance supervisor can also in HTML mass assign work to a technician. And we've done other general enhancements like letting you assign an employee to a work order, not just to the operations, and giving notifications of employee assignment to work. EAM has also delivered more HTML by giving a scheduler workbench to be able to see then the work orders and the operations and to be able to make adjustments accordingly. EAM has also introduced a functional asset hierarchy as an alternative to the existing asset hierarchy to let you then be able to easily view assets, work orders, asset costs, and such based on this functional hierarchy. An example of this is taking an existing asset hierarchy where you have a building with floors or a building with rooms. You can then define a functional hierarchy where you have the building, and then you create then a functional hierarchy which also represents floors, so you can actually then easily find specific assets in that hierarchy. There's many other customer-driven enhancements that EAM has delivered to, from the ideas and the other inputs from our customers, with things around how you define setup data in work orders, like org-specific work orders, or enhancing the approvals using AME, a number of things in managing preventative maintenance, and a set of other things as listed here. Install base and asset tracking has also been enhanced. Install base to let you easily manage things through Web API and the other functions as listed here. Asset tracking enhanced to do things like capitalization at additional points, including sales order shipment and issue upon project inventory, and a number of other items as listed below. Now let's shift to service. Services have been enhanced with more HTML UI in place of forms. We're going to first start talking about teleservice, where the contact center has an HTML UI as an alternative to forms, allowing then support agents to be able to easily manage then their work queue and service requests coming in to better service their customers. The Advanced Scheduler Dispatch Center HTML UI is available as an alternative to forms to make it easy to be able to then take service requests and to be able to dispatch or take service requests and be able to dispatch those to then service technicians based on where they are and their ability to service the customer. Another key investment area in service is around service contracts and usage-based billing, with first the introduction of an asset or group plans. So you can define a group plan of the assets that are being used. You record usage based on meter readings, and then you bill based on that usage, and then have allowances and rollover of those allowances so that you can then manage your assets, your customers' usage of assets based on these group plans. We're all very familiar with this as we think about phone plans. It's a very similar kind of model as we apply it to your customer assets. Service contracts has also taken an idea of predictions and letting you that now really get a view of what's the service contract renewal risk based on historical data with a number of attributes based on usage, payment, and other such things. More broadly, service has been enhanced to just enhance the structure of how we record service requests. First is using multi-org access control and inventory org security, allowing you then to have a single instance of service, but then having it segregated by different operating units, but yet then having a definition of which users can see many different operating units and be able to share information across based on a shared service model. Allowing you then to have, say, IT, HR, and your field service run in the same instance as customer service, but then having the appropriate different setup data and access to different sets of users. Service has also enhanced the definition of the service request by supporting, letting you define multiple products on a service request, such that then a customer can record one service request, capture the many products that might be related at that location, and then a technician can then be able to act and service that based on that service request. Service has also been enhanced to calculate the charges, how much it's going to cost for the work that was done on that service request by integrating with advanced pricing, and then leveraging the appropriate tiering, the price list or volume discounts that are available in advanced pricing, similar to what's been used in order management, now applying to service charges. Field service has been integrated with projects to be able to let you do project execution using field service. Your field service technicians can help complete project work by then really managing, kind of working through the tasks assigned to them. Those are then integrated to projects, both from all the related costs, and then to be able to then feed that into the project tracking. You can also integrate the text time cards into OTL to be able to manage the full flow of time into OTL, including from field service technicians. Looking at depot repair, which is then bringing repair into a depot versus going out to a customer. Depot repair has done a number of significant enhancements, which is the first is understanding the supplier warranty for things that are getting fixed and be able to automate the claims of that to the supplier. The second area is around waste management for then the waste for controlled items that have come in, how to be able to manage that and then manage the appropriate requirements for that. Now we're going to shift over to human capital management. Key areas of investment in human capital management is mobile tech time cards, which are got updated with the mobile technology as noted, now available to run through a browser, where this is then leveraging the setup data, the personalization defined in OTL, but now visible through a mobile device that can be run through a browser. Similarly, a capability leveraging the same approach is available for mobile self-service HR, letting managers and employees get visibility into information that they need to see. Managers can see their team members and profiles, can then manage their team information. Employees can manage absences, their pay slips, benefits, and a number of other things. OTL Core has been enhanced to support both many different ways of entering time, whether it be enhancing project time entry with HR rates by criteria, automatically creating a time card based on a technician's labor debrief from field service, or capturing a time card in OTL and feeding that in for manufacturing work order operations, and then be able to let a manufacturing supervisor see that information. So letting you capture the time and integrate it with enterprise operations, and also then letting you have ways that you enter time in OTL by letting you mass upload time cards, auto-generate up time cards, review missing time cards, and letting managers see a set of things, and a number of other things as listed here. Payroll has been enhanced in a number of key areas. A couple of them listed here are consolidating third-party payments for US payroll, letting you do dynamic assignment sets using HTML and Web API, so you can automatically assign people to payrolls based on those assignment sets, and enhanced retroactive pay analysis. Self-service HR has recently been enhanced with AME to better handle timeout processing. So when approval has been timed out, you can define a surrogate approval and have things routed to that surrogate approval to ensure that things get approved effectively. And finally, for HR, we have Person Data Removal Tool, which is a tool across EBS to allow you to remove personal sensitive data for selected persons to support regulatory requirements for data privacy. It's a metadata-based model that we've delivered standard for EBS, but you can also extend it so you can actually validate, is the data being used? Is the data have all the closed transactions? If it is, you can then remove that sensitive data. If there's still open transactions, then the sensitive data cannot be removed. And finally, across EBS, we're very focused on delivering APIs as requested from our customers, whether it be APIs for reference data or transactional data spanning across ERP, HCM, or supply chain. This just gives you an idea of some of the APIs that have been requested and delivered across 12.2. So we've covered a lot, spanning across highlights, across key enhancements by product family. Where can you find more information for areas that you're interested in? A place to start is looking at the EBS site on oracle.com, available to the public, using the URL of www.oracle.com/EBS. Can get a broad view of the strategy roadmap and other featured resources. Can drill down into the resources to be able to see more around announcements, product information, and more. To look at specific information on what's new in 12.2, point you to the overview presentations like this one, plus others that are available then by product family. You can then further drill into the feature list in the release content documents that are organized by product family, product, and release. You can get a list of the RCDs from the links noted below. And then once you find the features you're interested in, go and actually find the detailed online training available through our TOI process. A way for you to be able to find things of value starting from today's presentation and then drilling into the resources as described here. Another way of looking at this, we've covered a lot. We have enhancements across the product families with the various product families shown in the wheel. Now we're highlighting, there's a number of different RCDs for the various areas. Link on those and you can actually see the detail features in each of those areas. Now let's wrap up with takeaways. And from today, you've seen that 12.2 delivers substantial value now into the future. Many things with modern user experience, including ECC, HTML, mobile, and support for EBS UX extensions and customizations. We've done a lot of functional innovation, including 10 plus years of a functional advance, and we're leveraging technology, all supported with Premier support through at least 2035. So significant value for you to identify areas that will benefit your business and to be able for you to deploy this and take advantage of these. Any customers on 12.1? You need to move beyond 12.1 given the Premier support has ended. And we see that there's a lot of value and expect that there's a lot of value for you in 12.2 that you can logically leverage when you upgrade to 12.2. With that, we wrap up this session on what's new in 12.2 Beyond Online Patching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for, and hopefully you've seen some things of value and know where to find more information. Thank you.